again. So we're going to continue the webinar now with a demonstration of how to do push in your RhoSync and Rhodes application. In this case, I'm going to be demonstrating push to a Blackberry simulator. We support in 2.0, we support both push to Blackberry and iPhone. However, for this demo, because you can't do push to an iPhone simulator, we will demonstrate doing it on Blackberry. Great. So now what I have here is the same server and Rhodes application installed. Here is the product adapter that you might remember from the previous webinar. What I'm going to do here in the product adapter is show how to create what we call a ping job, which is going to ping the devices for a given user. So here we have the product adapter, and what I'm going to do now is inside the query, I want to run this query method, and then what I'm going to do here is send a push message to the device saying that the query is finished. Very simple message here, but just to demonstrate. And yes, this is GVim on Windows. We got a message about that. So what this enqueue function does is it's going to create a new ping job that a rescue is going to execute in the background. So in order to set up this job, I need to pass it a few parameters. First one here is going to be user ID, and I'm just copying it verbatim from the RhoSync 2.0 page in the async job types section. Oops, thank you for the typo. And I'm going to use my current user variable to say send a ping message to everybody in this, every device that belongs to this user. And I'm going to say new products available. And the badge here, in the case of Blackberry, we ignore the badge. It's used only on iPhone, but I'll just set it to 1. And sources. What I want to do here is I want to tell the Rhodes application to come and sync the product adapter. So what this message is going to include in the body is the actual pop-up message, and then it's going to say to the Rhodes application, come and sync the product because there are new products available. So I'll go ahead and save that. And a couple other things I want to tell you about here. In my settings file for my RhoSync application, I need to tell it where to send the push message. In the case of Blackberry, we support Bez Pat Push, and what that does is it's going to send a push message to the MDS server. In this case, my MDS server is going to be the simulator MDS server that runs when you run the Blackberry simulator, and that's running on localhost, and by default it runs on port 8080. So you just have to put those in to the settings file. If you're running this application in a Bez environment, say behind your corporate firewall, you could put in the IP address and port for your Bez server. And there's another section here in the actual Blackberry JDE folder. I have to set up my MDS server to accept an incoming push message. So the way that I do that is I edit this rimpublic.property file. The very last line of that file is commented out by default. And if you don't turn this on, you will definitely have headaches. So what this is basically doing is it allows push messages to come in on port 100. Great. So all of the infrastructure I think is set up there. In my, there's one last piece in my roads application. The only thing that I need to do here is I need to edit my YAML file, and I need to turn on the push feature. In 2.0 we abstracted away some of the features, things like push, GPS, into these separate sections, so you have to actually turn it on. Otherwise, it won't turn on the push feature. So I'm going to go ahead and start that because it'll take a little while to launch. And then what I'm going to do now is start my RhoSync server. And just like we did before, I have to also start rescue. So in Windows it's a little different. You have to set the queue, set it to star. Oops. And I'll set verbose as well because I want to see everything that's going on. So I'll go ahead and start a rescue worker. So bear with me just a moment here. So my virtual machine cranks away. And probably one of the reasons you'll notice why we use iPhone for these demos is the Blackberry simulator is notoriously sluggish starting up. So we're just waiting for that. Okay. And another thing I want to mention here is on Windows I had to change my config file a little bit to point to the actual IP address of my machine. That is because the Blackberry simulator is not able to connect to localhost. So if you're testing with Blackberry, just go ahead and put in the real IP address to your Windows machine. Okay. So by default it gets installed in the download section. I'll just go ahead and launch that. And I'll just log in again. Again, with any user, it doesn't matter. So actually one thing here, another hiccup of this Blackberry simulator is for push to work you actually have to navigate to a website first. So I'm just going to navigate to a website in the browser. That will allow the MDS server to receive push messages. Basically, it kickstarts the MDS. So now I'll go ahead and log in. And you can see my rescue job ran. Oops, looks like we have an error here. Yes. I wanted to disable the bulk data feature for this. Didn't get that done. Let me fix that. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do here, instead of queuing up this job, I'm just going to call perform, because it looks like looks like there might be a bug here in how it executes the ping job. So we'll just go ahead and call perform on it. There we go. So here I just call ping job perform. Sorry about that. I'm not sure why why the background job wasn't working, but you can see here it sent my push message. So that is why 2.0 is still in beta. We started working on a few of these issues, but so now I could get this push message. Another cool one I wanted to show was we set the vibrate. I believe it takes an integer. And go ahead and restart this. You see it vibrated. So that is the push feature of Rhodes and RhoSync. If I wanted to just display a message, all of these arguments are optional. So say, for example, I just wanted to display this message, I could remove these elements here and just display a pop-up message. In that case, the Rhodes application wouldn't go and try to synchronize with the client, with the server. So just to demonstrate that, go ahead and launch it again. There we go. So it just calls the new product. So that is the push feature in Rhodes and RhoSync 2.0. We'll be putting up more code samples online, as well as we'll be working on this issue here that we saw on queuing up a job. So in the final version, we'll be able to do a rescue job, which will actually perform the ping message. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the webinar now.